Polling stations are now closed in Kenya following a day of relatively peaceful voting. The polls, considered largely a two-horse race between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. Kenya's Election Commission announced the arrest of 6 officials on the eve of the vote, leading to worries about potential vote rigging. Well, for more on the story, I'm joined by the advocate of the High Court of Kenya, Harriette Chiggai. Harriette, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. Before we get into some of the more technical aspects of the election, did you have an opportunity to vote today? And tell me about just what you've observed about this election so far.
Well, I did vote, and I voted early in the morning. And the process was quite smooth. I must say, we didn't take a lot of time. So the voting process was actually very good. Within 30 minutes, you're done.
It's been quite a tight contest in terms of who exactly will come out on top when it comes to winning this election. But on the ground, of course, what is positive is that we're not seeing the levels of violence that we saw perhaps in 2016. Would you say that that's the case?
Well, first I must say that it's a close call between the two top contenders. And again, I must applaud Kenyans for upholding some dignity in these elections this time round. There has been very minimum violence reported. And even the ones which have been reported are very individualistic. You find maybe it's not the Kenyans themselves, but maybe the politicians who are engaging into violence activities. For me, I would wish first to applaud Kenyans because we have then seen some level of maturity in these elections, and it's quite encouraging from where I sit. So I do not, from where we are and from the ratings we are seeing, we do not expect any violence, which is a plus, and which in my view is quite a high improvement from the last 3 elections that this country has had. So congratulations to Kenyans for that.
Of course, what we've seen in Kenya is even the election result being contested in court, and it really brings us to why these concerns around vote rigging are so serious.
Well, if you check the two, I will use the last 2 elections that we had. You'll realize that it was high voltage. There was a lot of election malpractices. You'll also realize they were marred by a lot of election violence. And it's only then that you realize that the election process was not properly done. And by virtue of that, it goes without saying that there was a high chance then that you'll have the elections contested in court. In these particular elections, we are praying that we'll not reach those levels where we'll have volatile situations. But even where we are sitting right now, the voting is already done. They are already counting the votes. And cases of violence are very minimum, very, very minimum. So I hope that the counting of votes will be done properly, because we can only anticipate violence if the tallying is not properly done. But if IEBC, if the electoral body continues conducting their work the way they have done from morning up to now, then we are not seeing a situation whereby we'll have violence, or a situation whereby people will have to contest the elections. So there are few cases reported, and those few cases will be dealt at that level. But for where we are right now, I think things are okay. We are moving on very well.
Harriette Chiggai, advocate of the High Court of Kenya, we'll leave it there for tonight.